Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible, one brave word at a time. And here today to help me with that mission is Kieran Morgan. He is a spiritual teacher, healer, alchemist, and the brother of dragons. And he is one of the co-authors in a new book that we have coming out called The Energy Healer's Oracle: Tools for Total Transformation. Welcome, Kieran. How's it going?
Hey Laura, yeah, really good, thank you. I just yes, I'm really enjoying we've got great weather over here in the UK at the moment, so I'm really enjoying the sunshine and
Mm.
happy times seem to have finally appeared. It's been quite dull, grey and overcast here for a long, long time over the winter, but it's nice to be out in the sunshine.
That is nice. So we have some nice sunshine here today too in Maryland. So I feel you. So before we move into talking about your amazing chapter, let me just say a huge thank you to the lead author of The Energy Healer's Oracle, Angela Aurora Medway Smith. Thank you so much for putting this cast of authors together that you have. You know, we wouldn't be here without you. I have really been enjoying talking to you all. All of the author interviews have been amazing. This is going to take the conversation about energy healing to a whole other level. And Angela, I know your part of your mission was to raise the vibe in that way, bring everything to a higher vibe, a higher frequency of vibration. And yes, this book is doing it. So Kieran, tell us about your chapter.
Okay, so my chapter in the book is chapter 13. It's about a healing system which you can see up behind me here called Pendragon Reiki. Um, it's an energetic healing system based around working with dragons and dragon energy, which is something I've always had a great love for the dragons. I have was a great reader as a kid of science fiction and fantasy books, and there were always dragons in the ones that I read. Well, not always, but often. And one of the things that I remember as a kid was that it never seemed fair to me that dragons were portrayed as the nasty villains. I play lots of video games as well. I'm a big video game geek and film buff and stuff like that, comic books, and it didn't make sense to me that they were often portrayed as negative in that way. So on my spiritual path, I've been on the path of 20 years now, and working with the dragons more and more over that time, especially in the last decade. And quite a while now ago, but I think it's 6 years since I had my interesting encounter with my energetic teacher, my guide, which is the spirit of the Merlin. He, I was driving back from work one night, quite late. I used to work in the theatre, building stage sets and doing productions and that type of thing. And it was the end of a production run, so I was really tired. And I came to halt at a set of traffic lights, and this voice shouted at me, "Write this down." Now, I am marginally clairvoyant and clairaudient, clairsentient. I pick up extra things, a very energetically sensitive person. But I don't normally, or hadn't at that point, normally had voices which I could believe that I was hearing with my ears. So I sort of, well, what, who? I thought there might be somebody outside the car, or I was really tired. So I sort of ignored it, got to the next set of traffic lights, and this voice went, "Write this down." I was like, "What? Who is it? What is going on?" I looked in the rearview mirror in the car, and I saw the Merlin sat in the back seat, which is a bit weird. But lots of the things I do are a bit weird. And he was sat very much like Ian McKellen as Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, big long grey robes, big long beard, and he was just staring at me in the rear. "Write this down." I was like, "What? What do you want me to write down, you mad old man?" And this image, this picture, burnt itself into my head. It was sort of here in front of me, but I could see it with my eyes closed, of this triangle with a spiral going to the center of it. So I was like, okay, all right, I'll write it down. And I scrabbled around in the car, and the only thing I could find was an old car park ticket and a felt tip pen. So I drew this symbol. I was like, right, look, I've written it down now. Can I just go home and go to sleep, please? Because I'm really tired. And and I sort of forgot about it. But a couple of days later, when I had some time, show had finished and everything, I sort of came back to it and had a picture of it, and then he came again and explained what it was all about. So my chapter in the book is telling that story. The Pendragon Reiki itself is really interesting, because I've done Usui Reiki, and I know that people do angelic Reiki, and there's lots of different versions, and some of them I think are quite complicated. So the version I brought forward was I believe, I hope, is relatively straightforward. But from that moment, things coming into being, when he gave me that symbol, there was lots of information that came through, and I started to study more about mythology of dragons and the energy, and there's a whole massive array of significance about dragons as a symbol throughout mankind's history. Almost every major civilization has had a dragony connection to it that we know of. So there's a lot going on with dragons themselves, but also with their connection with mankind and that type of thing. So I'm really excited about being able to tell the story, and energetic healing in general. Really, I think it's a really powerful tool for people to help themselves. Yeah.
So, if I'm somebody who is beginning to notice dragons for whatever reason, I'm paying attention to pictures of them. They might be coming to me in a dream. I mean, all the different ways. And now I've listened to this interview, and so I'm like, oh, what do you want me to know about what that message is?
Okay. What I'd like people to really know and to remember, I think, if you like, is that in lots of cultures we've had dragon energy as a very positive force, and especially in Eastern philosophy, they are guardians and protectors. They are seen, throughout the Eastern world as guardians of temples and of libraries, or music halls and concert venues, because they love sound and music, but they are overall protectors. And the big message about the chapter in the book and my work, and the reason I have the title of "Before you do anything else, do this," initially may sound a bit arrogant, with me. I'm not disregarding everybody else's stuff, but the world of dragons for me is about protection. So the energetic exercise which I put in the book is about creating a protective space. And this in history is what the dragon energy has been all about. It's about protecting. That was sort of spin doctored, if you like, with the uprising of the Christian church, because they wanted to. Dragons represent the old ways, and they're connected with the earth and the goddess and the divine feminine energy. And mankind and humanity were moving into a point of masculine energy sort of usurping that. So they knew they couldn't destroy the symbols of the dragons and the ley lines of Mother Earth, but they wanted to be able to twist them. So they demonized their whole dragon culture. So Eastern philosophy, dragons are seen as positive and spiraling and dancing and happy. And in Western philosophy, they tend to be living under hills, hoarding gold, and being very grumpy. And that's just a sort of misrepresentation, to try and scare people away from them, to get them to go to a more organized church-based religions. So protection and breaking down those barriers and boundaries with the dragon energy and those negative connotations is my job, being an advocate of them, and the whole Brother of Dragons is my job to help break down those barriers and boundaries.
So you started to talk about energy healing, its importance a minute ago. And, energy healing, you guys, energy is everything, right? Everything is energy, but energy healing is a part of a holistic approach that we want to wake you up to, the possibilities here. It's a holistic approach to your mind, body, spirit, soul wellness. So, Kieran, when it comes to this journey that we're on, why does this holistic approach matter? Why do we need to look at energy medicine more?
I think that we've moved away. There was a time back 400-500 years ago where science and spirituality were mixed together under the sort of big umbrella of alchemy, and it's something else that I have done a lot of work on. And then it sort of split, and the spirituality became sort of hokum, and it became nonsense, and it became things that crazy cat ladies did and stuff like that, and science took over. And I believe that there's a place for both. I'm a firm believer in the fact that our physical body is only one representation of us on this planet, in this space and dimension. And I say this a lot in my workshops. We only experience with our senses, and we can touch, taste, smell, and hear 5%, something like that, of the world and the energy that there is in the universe. So there is an enormous amount that we don't know. And even the scientists, theorists, they talk about the theory of relativity. They talk about the theory of that type of thing. So our theories and their theories can marry up. And I think they've been disparate and pushed apart for such a long time, but they're starting to converge again. And there's certain things that the scientific world are bringing back, bringing into being, the sound therapy and healing through the sounds of subsonic sounds and that type of thing. But it's something that cultures have been doing for thousands of years. There's temples in Malta dedicated that resonate with the healing frequency of 111 hertz. There's Stonehenge is set to resonate with the baritone voice for healing and that type of thing. So there's much more to our world than just those things that we're told about in our society. We are sort of very much blinkered in that. And I've been working through this for the last 25 years, and it's made a big difference to me. Energetic healing. We have a mental health crisis globally at the moment. And I think crisis is a weird word. I think it's an awakening, an opportunity, an expansion. And so people are looking for other ways of doing things. I had a medical examination yesterday. I've got problems with my shoulder and my elbow. I'm in quite a bit of pain through physical work and that type of thing. And for the first time, the NHS doctor actually said afterwards, we've talked about what I do, and I said I taught meditation classes and things like that. And she, as part of my plan, she said, ice, take the painkillers, do your exercises, and meditate your way out of pain. And it really works. It's not one of these things, and I know lots of people will say that. And if you're new to this whole field, you might think it's a bit mad, to be honest, that people are talking about angels and dragons and all of the other varieties of healing we have in the book, and the thousands of others that are across the globe. But these things work, for me anyway, and I believe that there's a way forward for science and spirituality to work together, and I'm looking to rationalize those things as well.
Thank you for using the example of your medical appointment yesterday. That's a perfect example, and how cool it was that the doctor said that.
Yeah.
But because I don't know, that gives me hope. They need to merge back again, and our medical providers need to evolve with everyone else. I also loved what you said about the mental health crisis really being an awakening. I think if we can all remember that that's what that is, and then reach out for the assistance we need at whatever stage we're in with that feeling. I know I've been feeling that very, very intensely, and I'm somebody who has practiced helping myself for my whole career. So there are a lot of people out there who might be feeling a bit more desperate than I do even. And what do I do with this feeling I'm having? These thoughts, the feeling that they create. So if it's an awakening, if it's an evolution, there's a feeling of hope attached to that, which is much better than what could be there, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about that?
Just that there's other things. The awakening, it's like growing pains, I think. But some of us who are energetically sensitive have, since the whole lockdown thing, have had an overwhelming sort of waves of helplessness, and we are taking on this. Some of us take this on for humanity to drive things forward and bring about real serious change. And you guys do an amazing job with bringing the different books out and helping people to access things and new ideas and thoughts in a great way. So, which is awesome. In my life, I've had two breakdowns. Now, they would be called mental breakdowns, but I don't call them breakdowns. I call them breakthroughs, because it was an old way of thinking and an old way of believing which I couldn't cope with. And then like a butterfly coming out from a chrysalis, that old way breaks apart. You come out, you feel vulnerable, but you have to recharge, renew yourself, go through that change, and then we can evolve again. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I would say is that try not to think of these things as barriers or breakdowns or those types of things. It's a way of getting through to another space and another place. And this is the great thing at the moment, is that there are many different ways of getting help and assistance, and lots of people who can be empathetic because we've been through or are going through the things that other people are going through as well. So we can really resonate and understand and empathize with what people are going through. And it's not just about do what I do because I'm a guru, or do what I do because I'm at one with the universe and I'm sitting on my big rock at the top of a mountainside being at peace with the universe. It's not all love and light, rainbows and unicorns. It is hard work, and it is challenging, and sometimes you need help. And one of the big things that I would say to anyone is if you need help, then ask for it, because people are there to really understand what you're going through.
Thank you for that. And this is a perfect place for me to thank you for not just saying yes to putting these brave words in the book, but for taking on this challenge I gave all of you authors to bring some of your practical exercises and tools into the book so that we could offer that to people. And I'm really loving what you just said about all of it, because the people that will be reading this book may learn something that changes everything about how it was going before. It could change everything for you. And Kieran, thank you for being one of the people who said, yeah, I'll do that. I'll give that a try. And I think a lot of what we're doing in the book, and also as practitioners and coaches and guides, we know we don't fix people. That's not what this is about. You just said that. We are not this guru sitting on the pillow, but we can guide your process in a way that helps you connect to your own inner wisdom and healer. That's what these tools are meant to do for you. So we empower you to connect, right? So what's one way that you want to share with our viewers today to help them make that connection? Maybe they're a beginner on this path.
My starting point is twofold, really, is grounding and protection. Grounding is, as it says, if you can get outside, put your feet on the grass, get outside in the forest. If you're having a difficult time, be outside in nature. If you can't get outside, look out the window, breathe in the fresh air. Sorry about that. I was getting passionate. And
I know, I do that too.
Yeah. But it's also about consciously sending energy into the earth and connecting with that, remembering who we are, and protection. And some schools of thoughts that say that people don't need it, but in the Pandragon Reiki system, in the chapter in the book, I talk about creating this energetic protection using different streams of energy and different dragons to visualize that, which is just a tool for visualization. But one of the simple things you could do is choose your favorite color and imagine yourself surrounded by a ball of light of your favorite color. If you don't have a favorite color, then go for gold, because that's a good one to go for. But just imagine yourself in that sphere of light. And when you're in that space, then imagine it sort of hardening like a bauble that you have on a Christmas tree. And negative energy can't get through, it just bounces off. Or you can visualize it like arrows turning into flowers or butterflies or something positive and nice. So what you're doing there is creating a safe space around you. Now, it doesn't hide away the challenges of the world, but it gives you a space to be able to breathe for yourself and think for yourself. And again, there's lots of times when we are told, especially in the modern world, that we can't help ourselves, only another deity can do that for us, or another teaching, or another book, another belief system. But I believe that we can help ourselves. And like you said about facilitating that, we don't heal people. We give people the opportunity and the tools to heal themselves, or put them in the space where they can understand and work through those things. And so for people to remember that you have the power to do that yourself, we have some tools. We have lots of tools in this lovely book, and there are 1,001 others in the world which are amazing as well. But you have control, and people feel very much out of control at the moment. But we have that. We have those opportunities within us. But you might need to, learn some exercises to which help. But so protection, I think, is important, to give yourself that space. They have that old adage that if you should meditate 3 times a week for half an hour, unless you're too busy, in which case you should meditate every day. So take a little bit of time, if you can, for yourself, in any way, shape, or form that takes. And it doesn't have to be sitting on the mountaintop picturing nothing. You can listen to some music. Music is a great healer as well. But I would say get out in the elements. And if it's raining and it's cloudy and it's one of those days that everybody in the weather forecast hates, I love those days. Get outside and feel the rain on your face and the wind there, and feel the elements, and let them blow away the cobwebs and give you a bit of space to breathe. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. You guys, this is so much more than a book that we're going to be bringing to you, the Energy Healers Oracle. It's a community of people like Kieran Morgan, who is very generously there for you to take the next step, guide your journey, answer a question. Maybe you all heard something today in this interview and now you're a little bit curious, and or you have a question or you need some support. So please just drop on down into our show notes where Kieran's website is, and he is there. All of our co-authors are there. This is a powerful community of people who really care about your journey. And I'm honored, Kieran, to be here with you today. Thank you so much for what you do in the world. And thank you for being here today to share it with everyone.
Thank you, Laura, as well. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to reach more people and to be able to help, because that's what we're here for. We're here to offer our help and our experiences in that. So thank you for taking the time to give us a platform to be able to be seen and heard.
No, my pleasure. So if y'all are ready for it, we're going to have a book launch party on Zoom Friday, June 9th, 10 a.m. Eastern. All of the authors of the Energy Healers Oracle will be there to celebrate and talk more about what they do. I've got some information down below for you about that. And if you happen to be listening to this interview after that date, well, you can pop over to Amazon and grab your copy of this beautiful book. It'll be ready for you to read and enjoy. And lastly today, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.